Hello trainers and welcome to Pokéology, a show where each week I talk to you about the biology of Pokemon based on the research that I have found. My name is Professor SACCHARUM, and for our first episode we are going to be talking about the first Pokemon to ever be discovered by man. That's right, it's Rhydon. On this show we'll be asking the following questions when we look into each Pokemon. What does it look like? What does it eat? How does it survive? What makes it special? Where can I find it? And how do I train it? These 6 questions help me learn everything I needed to know about each Pokemon. First we'll start off with the easy question. What does it look like? Well, Rhydon look like this. Rhydon are large gray Pokemon who are bipedal. If you don't know what bipedal means, it is anything that walks on 2 feet, like people. Now Rhydon also have a cream-colored drill-like horn on their snouts. This feature is actually really important when it comes to telling the difference between a male and a female Rhydon. Males will have the larger horn, whereas females will have a smaller one. Now there are other protrusions on Rhydon's head, for instance the spike in the middle of its head and the triangular ears on either side of the spike. And do you see the wavy protrusions on Rhydon's cheeks? I have a theory that hasn't been confirmed yet, but I think that those protrusions are more than just decoration. I think that they connect to the jaw somehow, and they keep it from detaching with the rest of the skull. But to wrap this section up, Rhydon also have red eyes, 2 fangs protruding from the upper jaw, and long tails. But notice that the belly of a Rhydon is the same color as its horn. Keep that in mind, but we will touch on that later. Now the next 2 sections kind of go hand in hand. I mean, you can't survive unless you eat. What does it eat, and how does it survive? Let's talk diet. I know that Rhydon look like lean, mean, meat-eating machines, but in reality, these Pokemon are primarily herbivores. That's right, they're plant eaters. Rhydon prefer to eat different types of foliage, including leafy plants, shoots, roots, and even bushes. However, in severe drought, these Pokemon can live up to 5 days without eating. And if in that time period no other food shows up, they'll turn to omnivores and start to eat the soil and the rocks around them. I mean, it only makes sense because they are ground and rock type. So how do Rhydon protect themselves? Well, when you think of Rhydon, what is the first thing that comes to mind? The horn on its snout, right? Well, that horn is made up of some incredibly strong bone marrow, and serves as Rhydon's primary weapon. Remember when I said that Rhydon's bellies are the same color as their horn? Well, I have another theory that their bellies are made up of the same bone marrow as their horns. That bone marrow could be a type of armor that it has to protect itself from any injuries to its vital organs, like its heart, its lungs, and even its stomach. Also, let's take another quick look at Rhydon. Do you see that chest piece covering up Rhydon's belly? Could that be another layer of protection for their hearts? Next we'll talk about what makes this Pokemon special. But in order to do that, we're going to need the help of our handy dandy Pokedex. According to the Pokedex, Rhydon is classified as the Drill Pokemon and evolves from Rhyhorn at level 42. They are 6'3" and weigh in at a whopping 264 pounds. Let's compare them to the average human being. I'll be the example here. I'm about 5'10" and I weigh close to 145 pounds. Now averaging that up, Rhydon is approximately 5 inches taller than me and weighs about 119 pounds more than I do. Now get this, according to some of Rhydon's Pokedex entries, it says that these Pokemon are capable of achieving great feats. Rhydon's Hoenn Pokedex entry states that Rhydon's horn can crush even uncut diamonds. One sweeping blow of its tail can topple a building. This Pokemon's hide is extremely tough, even direct cannon hits don't leave a scratch. It's that Pokedex entry that makes me think that my theory about the bone marrow is true. Here's what Kanto and Johto's Pokedex entries have to say about Rhydon. It begins walking on its hind legs after evolution. It can punch holes through boulders with its horn. Its rugged hide protects it from even the heat of lava. However, the hide also makes it insensitive. Both of these Pokedex entries state how strong Rhydon really is. Kanto talks more about Rhydon's horn, but Johto's talks about Rhydon's hide. And that's what made me really think about how strong Rhydon's hide really is, and it made me think about the connection between Rhydon's belly and his horn. However, Kalos' Pokedex entry gives us a little bit more of an accurate representation of how strong this hide really is. Protected by an armor-like hide, it is capable of living in molten lava of 3,600 degrees Fahrenheit. That 3,600 degrees Fahrenheit makes me really think about how strong Rhydon's hide really is, and helps prove my theory about the bone marrow even further. Now, Univa's and Sinnoh's Pokedex entry don't really say much about Rhydon, at least not anything too significant, but they are very interesting to look at. According to Rhydon's Pokedex entry in Univa and Sinnoh, it says that standing on its hind legs freed its forelegs and made it even smarter. It is very forgetful, however. That's actually kind of interesting, because when you think about Rhydon, you think of all these crazy and scary things, especially since of all the other Pokedex entries that we've just talked about. Those two Pokedex entries kind of make you forget that a little bit, and it also makes Rhydon a lot more peaceful and a lot more gentler than you would really think that it is. Where can I find it, and how do I train it? Okay trainers, now we're starting to get to the exciting part of the research. Where do I find it, and how do I train it? Now, most places don't have Rhydon running around in the wild, but there are some, and I'm gonna also tell you where to catch Rhyhorn if you really want to find one of your own and then level it up to 42 and have it evolve. Rhydon can be found in the following places: in Sinnoh's Route 227 and 228, as well as Victory Road and Stark Mountain. And in Johto, he can be found in the Safari Zone, but with special items only. Now, if you're in another region, you're going to have to catch Rhyhorn and level it up to 42, where it will evolve into Rhydon. I know I said that already, but I just want to clarify. Now, Rhyhorn can be found in the following places. He can be found in Kanto's Safari Zone, Johto's Victory Road and Safari Zone, Hoenn's Safari Zone, Sinnoh's Route 214, 227, Victory Road and Stark Mountain, Univa's White Forest, and finally Kalos's Glittering Cave. Now we're at the part that you've all been waiting for. That's right guys, it's time for battle strategy! First thing you're going to want to keep in mind is that Rhydon is a ground and rock type. This gives him a wide array of weaknesses, including grass, water, ice, fighting, steel, and other ground types. The next thing you'll need to know is that Rhydon are capable of having one of three abilities: Lightning Rod, Rock Head, and Reckless. Lightning Rod draws in all electric type moves and causes a boost to special attack. Rockhead makes attacks that usually cause recoil damage to not cause recoil damage to the Pokemon with Rockhead. For example, if Rhydon uses Takedown, it will not take damage if its ability is Rockhead. And last, we have Reckless. This ability causes Rhydon's recoil moves to have an increase in power by 20%. However, the recoil damage taken is also increased by 20%. The first step for training your Rhydon requires you to have one with an adamant nature. Give them the Eviolite item to hold and spread their EVs as followed: 88 in HP, 252 in attack, 84 in special defense, and 84 in speed. The attacks to best bring out this set are Earthquake for stab and Megahorn for type coverage on those grass types you'll encounter. Next, you're going to want to put Substitute for a defensive play. Then in the last slot, you'll either want to teach Rhydon Rock Blast for multiple hits and accuracy, or Stone Edge if you just want to bring some real power to the table. The ability here is of your own choice. Now the next set also requires you to have a Rhydon with an adamant nature, but this time with either Reckless or Rockhead as its ability. Give it a choice band and spread the EVs as followed: 36 HP, 252 attack, and 220 in speed. The attacks are extremely similar, with Earthquake, Megahorn, and Stone Edge being in the set. However, this time the last slot can either have Takedown, which depending on the ability will do something different, or Rock Blast. This final set will be based around a Rhydon with a jolly nature. Give it a Life Orb for its held item and spread the EVs as followed: 40 in HP, 252 in attack, and 216 in speed. The attacks that are best for this set are similar to the last two. Teach your Rhydon Earthquake, Stone Edge, Megahorn, and finally Rock Polish for that last move slot. And like the first set, the ability isn't really of much importance. And there you have it. Rhydon, the first Pokemon to ever be discovered by mankind. Well, that's my show for this week. Remember, if you liked this video, to give it a thumbs up and to subscribe to my channel for next week's Pokemon. Also, don't forget to leave your friend code and suggestion for next week's Pokemon in the comment section below. And if you do that, you have the chance to enter yourself into the SACCHARUM raffle, where you could win one of the sets that I talked about today for this week's Pokemon. Again, my name is Professor SACCHARUM, and I'm here to teach you Pokéology. See you next time.